The Square Ball Podcast.
Hello, welcome to the weekly show across the summer, brought to you with Levi Solicitors. There's a 10% discount on your legal fees at levisolicitors.co.uk/the Square Ball. Three with you, Dan, Michael Normanton, and Rob Conlon. Hello. All right?
I'm all right, aye. Where's Moscow still on his Caribbean cruise, is he? Living it up.
Absolutely sick of it. Just a heads up, if you want some more stuff from us across the summer, we are midway through our scoring of the entire squad and owners and management on 3 different scales over on the Extra Ball. Sounds quite descriptive when I say it like that, but it's a lot more fun when you listen to it. What scale did you go for?
Up to 17.
Yeah.
I think it ended up as 4 to 15 in the end because there was no one.
Well, you've given away all the fun now.
Oh, sorry. Well, it's a little bit of a guessing game for people.
Who got 4? Who got 15?
Who got 4? Who got 15?
Yeah, Rob, you went for a similar sort of breadth of scale, but a different one, entirely different feel.
Yeah, it's the new XG, as the kids are calling it. But it was the Beaufort scale, which measures wind speed and storms.
Did you know it's determined? I read more about the Beaufort scale. It's determined by the conditions of the sea. So they look at the sea and go, it's a Beaufort 6 or whatever.
Whether it's wavelets or white horses.
White horses, is what we discovered. And I went for the Nando's Perry scale. So from Perry Tamer for the kids all the way up to extra hot for the brave ones. Could be for the kids as well. That's on the Extra Ball. Details of that at thesquareball.net/plus. Into the weekly roundup then. Have you been watching more of the internationals?
No. Dreadful stuff.
The only bit I've seen is Charlie Creswell getting booked in the under-21s game versus Slovenia at Huddersfield. I got annoyed at his booking, so I turned it off. That's it. He got booked.
Seems fair.
He took a swing at the ball, missed it. A Slovenian player ran into his leg, and he got booked for it.
Solid legs, though, aren't we?
That's true. Yeah, he was a little bit put out by it, but that's all I've seen. But Rasmus Christensen, he got a 10 out of 10, I think, in the Danish press for his performance against Austria. Cocking a snoot to Ralf Rangnick, obviously, who's now in charge of Austria.
Is he?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, he is.
Oh, no,
he's taken our assistant manager, isn't he? I think.
Yes, that is right.
But did you see this, the shade thrown at us by I think it was the Austrian press? Obviously, he's left Salzburg, who are in Austria. Some of the quotes there on the sheet. This was Kroner, the rag, I think we'll call it, shall we? That have said he's going to become a basement dweller in the top division. It's a transfer that not everyone will understand. He's going to be watching international breaks on TV in future.
No, he's not. Why would he be dropped?
And Borussia Dortmund, the other team that we're in for him, is definitely a bigger soccer address than Leeds.
Well, if he wanted to be a basement dweller, he could have gone to Brentford. Gone to see Thomas Frank with whatever he keeps in his.
It's just typical anti-Leeds bias in the old Austrian media, isn't it?
They've always had it in for the Austrian media.
Basement dwellers. Are you quietly confident about what's happening in the summer? I'm quietly optimistic about what we've done so far. I think we need to do more of it.
Yeah, I mean, part of what's happened so far as well is that we haven't sold Calvin Phillips or Rafinha.
This is true.
I do kind of anticipate those things happening at some stage. But I'm glad we're signing players early and in positions we need. That's good. Let's just sign a left-back and a striker and about 3 more central midfielders and all will be well.
I've got a feeling we're not going to sign enough central midfielders this season to make you happy this summer.
I was just about to ask how many central midfielders would sort of...
I think at least another 3. Just keep them coming.
Is that with or without Calvin?
You've got to allow as well for the fact that your standard hit rate is that at least half your players you sign are shit. So we're going to sign, even if we sign another 3, 1.5 of them will be on the scrap heap by September.
So we need to sign 2 players in each position we need to strengthen. Is that what you're suggesting?
Yes, I think so.
Absolutely bankrupt the club.
Correct, yeah. I think it's the only safe thing to do.
Well, the one that everyone's talking about this week is Marc Roca from Bayern Munich. It looks like he's going to be next. We've heard nothing to the contrary. Everyone's saying like he wants to come to Leeds and all that. So are you up for it?
Wants to be a basement dweller, doesn't he?
I was looking at how the Bundesliga's official website announced his signing for Bayern Munich, and they were saying Bayern Munich had signed the new Xabi Alonso and the new Sergio Busquets, and I thought that sounds good. But then I watched the YouTube highlights and he looks like a big Lewis Bate to me. That's the vibe I get. So I'm a nice and tidy left-footed midfielder, but he's just not a little weedy kid like Lewis Bate is, which might be fine.
I mean, he's played in the Champions League.
Yeah, that's another good story, actually. He made his Champions League debut for Bayern Munich against Jesse Marsch's Red Bull Salzburg and got sent off, which might be what appealed to Jesse, him being a little son of a bitch on the pitch. And also Rasmus got a assist in that game. So they're all mates, aren't they?
All the worlds are colliding.
It just feels strange to not be linked with a Red Bull player. I think the way this summer's gone,
Give it time.
It's all been very Red Bully, hasn't it? Which is, I guess, it's kind of to be expected, isn't it? Managers like to bring in their own men, don't they, Neil?
They do, yeah. It's got to be a squad that's cast in his image, though. If the style of play is to work, doesn't it? People who understand the system, I guess, who can slot straight into it. But if you look at the players that we've signed so far in Aronson, Christensen, and assuming we get Roca, they're all Champions League players.
And all of a good age as well, aren't they? It feels like we're not buying, maybe learning from the Rodrigo thing of buying at the top of the market, buying people who have got development in them, hopefully. I mean, Roca does look a little bit classic Victor Orta in that he's someone who is...
It ticks all the boxes,
at some point being highly rated, but then been not seen for a bit.
It's the broken toy, isn't it?
It's Mickey Cuson's part 2, isn't it? This feels like.
Yeah, or Firpo or John Kevin Augustin. It's one of those people who were at some point was the next Xabi Alonso, but for a couple of years has been
Mickey Croissants and JKA both. There were sort of suggestions of attitude or application issues there, and Roca though just seems to have just gone off the boil, not had the opportunities. So
yeah, on that point, I have seen quotes from it's Julian Nagelsmann, isn't it, the Bayern Munich manager, and he was very complimentary about how hard Roca is working in training, even if he wasn't necessarily playing. And he was saying that when he came into the team, he looked kind of determined and trying to prove a point. So that gives me a bit more faith than some of the other players you mentioned.
I mean, Bayern Munich are really good. Yeah. So if you can't get in their midfield, Adam Forshaw probably doesn't get in their midfield either, does he? So
Champions League Adam Forshaw,
and that's his competition at Leeds. So he's probably fine, isn't he?
Yeah, I would say so. Yeah, it's there's a kind of a weird Goldilocks thing on the fees, isn't there, as well? Because on the one hand, people are going, well, it's quite a low fee, so it's no real risk. It's all right if it is sort of 10 to 15 million euro. If it was 30 million, people would be well annoyed. But it would probably add more legitimacy if it was like 20 million or something like that. Is there a sort of sweet spot that people kind of go for?
Possibly, yeah. I suppose it depends on the person, though, doesn't it? Because I'm still of the opinion that like £5 million should get you a superstar, which I'm aware it doesn't.
But what would you think of the fee then, relative to his age and his qualities?
It seems fairly cheap.
It is that sweet spot that you kind of say of like the Moneyball sweet spot almost, of this is what, because every Premier League team has sort of like a £20 million player in every position and on the bench as well. Whereas 10 to 15 million euros and the age is, you do think, oh, well, if it's the right one, we can sell him on for 40 million euros or whatever. But you don't know until you see him play, do you?
There is that thing, though, isn't there, about Orta and the fixer-uppers, the broken toys, that does give you cause for concern. And rightly so. Although the slightly lower mid-range punts have probably worked out better than the more expensive signings, you could argue, generally based on his record.
Yeah, it does seem that way. And he's played a lot of games. It's not he doesn't feel like such a risk in terms of the people we've talked about, like Mickey Croissants and John Kevin Augustin. They were still very young when we were trying to sign them. He does have an awful lot of games under his belt for Espanyol in a decent league. So you think he's probably all right. I almost daren't say any more than I think he's probably all right.
But there's still that unknown baked into it, isn't there? It's not like he's a player who's on the up. He's a player who's on the up and there's kind of plateaued, which is the very Victor Orta bit.
Yes.
And that's what gives you cause for concern. But then if he was just generally still on the up, you probably would be looking at twice as much for him.
Yeah, it's kind of a reflection of where we're at, isn't it? It's a bit like how people say, if Dan James could finish, it'd be brilliant. But it's like, but if Dan James could finish, he'd be like Kylian Mbappe, wouldn't he? Like just absolutely rapid and brilliant finisher. Like we don't get him in that case. So I don't know, to a certain extent, we're always going to be looking at players like this, aren't we? And, when we talked about obvious targets recently, and I think we mentioned Matt Targett, but he's gone to Newcastle, but that's like 17 million or something. I don't know. So it's still kind of a similar price range anyway, isn't it?
It does seem reluctant to go into the domestic market, does Orta, doesn't it?
Well, they're expensive, aren't they? And I think wages are massive at the Premier League level as well. Although, albeit signing a guy from Bayern Munich, I can't imagine he's on a really low wage.
Well, that was one of the accusations that Kroner made about Christensen, the hint that it's about money, because he'll earn several million at the club, and there's a kind of a financially lucrative angle that they're pushing there, almost suggesting, well, he's taken the worst move for more money.
I mean, they are kind of right to point out that Dortmund are a better team than us, and in the Champions League and all that kind of stuff.
But would you argue that we're in a better league, though?
Well, yeah, that is the thing, and I guess he's working with someone he knows as well, and let's be honest, the money probably is a factor as well, because he was moving away from, well, his home that he's made in Salzburg, and I guess you think, well, moving anywhere don't really make a difference to me. Dortmund and Leeds kind of similar cities as well.
Twin cities.
Exactly. I don't feel there's a huge amount to pick between them in terms of the lifestyle and everything. So I think he's going to be a bit of a fan favourite.
Who? Christensen or Roca here?
Christensen.
Right. All right, we'll come back to him now.
Yeah, and I was just flitting between the two, but I don't know.
Oh, definitely. Yeah. He's got the sort of mad look about him, hasn't he? Like, I don't give a shit.
I think he's going to be doing a bit of Pontus fist pumping and that sort of stuff.
I think we're at that point in the cycle, though, where we probably need a little bit of that now.
Yeah, maybe.
Was it last week we were saying maybe we've got too many nice boys? I think we might have. I think we might need just somebody with a little bit of because they all. I mean, I think they all suffered with pressure. I think, you know, when Marsh spoke about the stress in the squad last season, I think now we've removed ourselves from the stress because we stayed up. You look back on it, it did look like a really fraught, was the word that you used, Rob, just set of circumstances among the squad.
Just throwing someone completely unhinged. That's what we needed. Yeah, that video of him singing Sweet Caroline in the changing rooms with his top off, really pumping his arms and banging his head against the projector. Yeah, I think you're going to fit right in, to be honest.
Just going back to Roca, have you watched the YouTube stuff on him then?
I've watched a video that's called Welcome to Leeds, one that's called Welcome to Barcelona.
It's often the same video, isn't it?
Yeah, or more or less anyway. It's all similar clips.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He looks he looks technically adept. That's one of the things I like about him. Another lefty as well. Is obviously heavily left-footed. Seems to like him, doesn't he, Desorta?
And he looks like an all-rounder. I think he's part of it as well, which I guess in Jesse's system of needing lots of central players, it makes sense to have ones that can do lots of different things. Whereas I feel like Calvin sometimes looked a little bit lost in there because he was like, well, you don't need me for my job anymore.
Yeah. He does look like a central midfielder. It's like that thing that we said when Forshaw came into the team. We just go, oh yeah, he's a central midfielder. Like having a few more of those guys, like you say,
we're going to need a few.
Helps.
We're going to need a few, aren't we? He looks to have a good awareness, and the whole thing that Marsh was on about sometimes we need to go from 100 down to 70. He looks like the sort of player who can do that, can put his foot on the ball if necessary, or just put a pass to somebody that relieves a bit of pressure.
Important to stress, we don't really know. We're basing this on some YouTube clips.
But what else is scouting apart from looking at a few videos? Just because they've got Y-Scout and some more videos, there's no difference to YouTube, is it? Clubs actually genuinely use stuff like Football Manager for scouting data, so we've got access to it all, really. Have you ever seen those videos, some of the YouTube videos where they score them out of 10 for, it'll say like technical, 7 out of 10, and defensive?
Just do that.
They're not making them up, are they?
We should do that with a Beaufort scale.
I think we could actually. That could be another extra ball when we've finished the season review. Is we should mark all the incoming ones YouTube videos.
That's true. I'm just wary that it might still be on there. There's a video making Ian Westlake look like Paul Gascoigne.
It was Ian Westlake was more like Duncan Goodhue because he was. I might have said before. Sometime he was a very good swimmer. There was once. I think he was once on like grandstand or something like that, doing a dead fast lap in a pool, diving in and stuff.
Volleys at Oldham and swimming.
Yeah.
Best things for him.
And you're suggesting we shouldn't believe everything we see on YouTube?
Makes you think. Makes you think, doesn't it?
Should we go through some of the tittle-tattle then? Because this is the more exciting stuff.
This top one's a good one. I missed this until seeing it on the prep sheet.
Danny Ings.
Yeah, I thought, oh, well, we're signing Danny Ings after looking at this. And then this is actually like the perfect example of transfer rumour nonsense. Because it ended up with at 12:30 yesterday afternoon, Sky Sports on Sky Sports News going, breaking news, Aston Villa aren't going to sell Danny Ings despite interest from Leeds and Scum. I thought, oh wow, that sounds like a big story. So I looked into it, and it comes from an article on the 90 Minute website, which doesn't name Leeds or Scum. It says Villa might sell Danny Ings or are willing to listen to offers for Danny Ings if they sign a new striker, and it mentions Southampton and Bournemouth, who were both his former clubs, and Brighton, who are also on the south coast, which feels very convenient. I don't know, but it doesn't mention Leeds or Scum. And then Leeds Live wrote a piece saying, "Well, Leeds want a striker, and this report is saying Danny Ings might be available." maybe they could look at him.
2+2.
Yeah, and then I think it was the Manchester Evening News said Scum have been offered Danny Ings, which again, didn't mention any of that in the report. And then fast forward a bit, it's getting announced on Sky Sports News that neither Leeds nor Scum are signing Danny Ings, and now people are now regurgitating that, which it's all very confusing.
Or are we?
Well, do you want us to sign Ings, or do you want signings?
Hey, yeah. Well, I suppose you can achieve both, can't you?
You could actually, yes, take both of those boxes. Rafinha linked to Arsenal.
European Super League club.
That's
Pay
true.
them some respect.
That's
Pay
true.
them some respect. He won't go there, will he?
No.
Surely. They've just signed a winger, haven't they, anyway, from Sao Paulo. So have him instead. Have that Brazilian.
Have you seen Liverpool, who are obviously doing it differently to everybody else, are looking at Darwin Núñez now? I don't know if that's complete yet, but €100 million.
Such a special
They
club.
are such a special club. The way they do it differently to everyone else, not spending any money, is quite remarkable.
I mean, they are quite good at transfers, to their credit. Like, you look at the list of players Scum sign and they're just all absolutely shit. Whereas Liverpool, they do tend to work. So I'll give them some credit there, I suppose. But yeah, they're not exactly doing it on a shoestring.
So returning to Leeds then, have you seen we've been linked to another right back? It's not Cody Dramé. Colin Dagba, the guy at PSG. This seems to have come from Foot Mercato, which I believe is in French for foot market.
Okay. Very nice. Yeah, let's have him too. No, we don't need a right back, do we?
It says we've been seduced by the qualities that he has to offer.
Going by your half of, however many signings are going to be crap, we should get another right back just in case, I guess. And then one of them might be all right.
Yeah, that's true.
There's talk of him. I think he can play left back as well, though. That's the thing.
Oh, we do need a left back. I'm willing to say, without spoiling the anyone who hasn't yet listened to the review of defenders, I think we could do with a left back, because we do have a broken Stuart Dallas who can do right and left, but not for a while.
And we have a broken Junior Firpo.
In what way?
That's just bust. Just bust. Have you said we keep getting linked to Valentin Castellanos at New York City? I'm getting bored of that one now, aren't you? Just either go away or sign him.
There was a good story online about this transfer saying Graham Smith has dropped an update, like he's Kendrick Lamar releasing an album, but he was saying
I'd like to hear Graham rapping.
Yeah, that's another extra ball, I think.
Yeah.
But he was saying he's not on the list, so we shouldn't maybe expect that to go through.
Gonzalo Plata, guy at Sporting in Portugal. We've been linked to him for a while now. I mean, rumours sort of quietly bubbling under about his potential Rafinha replacement if he does go. Rumoured €10 million fee, but he got injured at the weekend playing in some sort of international game. They played Cape Verde, did I don't know if it was the 21s or the full Portugal side, but he got booted on his ankle, and there was footage of him getting carted off from the stadium in an ambulance. Do you want him?
Oh, Orta's going to want him all the more now.
He's also got a court case hanging over him about a car accident that he caused in Spain.
Or didn't cause?
Or didn't cause.
That's to be determined, isn't it?
Yeah, that's what they try to find out, yeah. Because he was on loan last season at Real Valladolid, I think is how you say it. And they got promoted, and they want to sign him, but they can't afford him, basically. So he's getting linked with Leeds.
Right, okay. We'll keep an eye on the court case.
But we've had any motoring offences for a while. It was like an annual tradition, wasn't it? The Leeds drink driving case or something. I'm sure that we used to have loads, didn't we?
I can't remember.
In the ill-disciplined days, there was always
different times though, Michael. Different times.
John Oster or Jody Morris or someone was always up to something.
Or not.
Or not. It's Jody Morris. It's fair to say.
Yeah, fair enough.
He's probably up to something now. He's just getting away with it.
It's not, Michael. It's stressed very clearly. We've been linked to Nicholas Raskin, who's seen the guy at Standard Liège in Belgium, 21 years old, central midfielder, final year of his contract, €5 million.
That's been around for a while, hasn't it, that link as well? I seem to remember that being a January link. Yep, have him.
I was going to say central midfielder, we have him.
Just stockpile as many as you can.
Yep, get him in.
Okay, fine. Do you want him, Rob?
Yeah, why not? I'll have them all.
I haven't watched his YouTube video yet, so I don't feel qualified.
He's really good on it, honestly.
Is he?
Does it all. Shooting, passing.
What would you rank him for?
Tackling.
Or scoring and passing? And
it's 15 on all of them. Really good, really solid.
Still operating out of the 17 scale.
Yeah,
good.
Exactly.
We've still been linked as well to George Hall at Birmingham and Sonny Perkins at West Ham. Sort of youth recruitment. I've seen whispers of first team wages being offered to Sonny Perkins, because if we're going to get another striker, no disrespect, Sonny, just don't want it to be you.
That's going to be a hell of a Radrazani tweet, that, isn't it?
What? Who's your new striker?
Yeah.
Sonny Perkins. Yeah. No, it feels like we need somebody.
After we
a bit
failed
more.
to get him, Max Dean is the new striker.
Jeez. Yeah, we did mention this last week, I think, about these two, but the links have persisted into this week. I'm starting to understand now. You know, Phil Hay has spoken when we've done the Phil Hay show about why he hates the transfer window, and I get it now. It's awful, isn't it?
It's not as bad for us either because people know we're clueless, so they never ask us any questions about it, or rarely. Whereas people go, "It's Raskin, Phil. Is there any truth in that?" And he has to go, "I don't know." Although we're recording with him tomorrow, aren't we? So we can ask him all these questions.
Yeah, the Phil Hay show returns this week. Is that it for transfers? Let's deal with the outgoings as well, because they were revealed. I think the retained list was published after we recorded last time. Nolan Kenny has gone to Hibs, permanent transfer there, and then Lawrence de Bock finally off the books, and Josh Galloway, Alfie Hughes, and Bobby Camworth's contracts all expired at the same time. De Bock feels like quite a significant one there, though. You sad to see him go?
He kind of backs up your theory that you should always sign two, I think, because he was meant to be the solution to our left back woes, wasn't he?
I think when you're signing left backs, five left backs at a time,
and
you need to go for in the hope that one is at least adequate. So
I can't really remember the sort of collapse of Lawrence de Bock, because I think
you do Derby away.
We've got a 0% win rate with de Bock in the side, haven't we? I think he played 7 games and we lost them all. I think, yeah. Somebody's going to have to check that, but I'm fairly sure I saw that stat somewhere.
It was quite spectacular that it just exploded at Derby. Like he wasn't that bad when he first joined, but he wasn't great, and then it all went really wrong. And then I don't know if he played for us ever again. Did he? He might have played once or something. But
did he go to Sunderland on loan and they weren't that bothered?
Yeah. I used to work with a lad who was a Sunderland fan, and he tweeted me saying, "Is he any good?" And I was just like, I wish I had better news. And it was like, "What? But we're on League One though." And I was like, even so, I don't think he's necessarily even good enough for that. And so it proved. Didn't Alan Pardew took him for a while, didn't he? At one of his loan spells.
Yeah, he went to Holland, didn't he? But I mean, he was meant to be like tipped to be a future Belgium international when he joined Leeds, and it went horrendously. I can just picture sort of the air kick at Derby where he completely missed the ball. But that was that's sort of its own scale, isn't it? The de Bock scale. Because when Firpo played terribly against Brighton at the start of the season, everyone was going, "Oh no, he's had a de Bock," which is never a good sign.
Still only 29 though.
Really, still time
to sort his career out.
Maybe you could get some careers advice from Victor Orta, who signed both Firpo and de Bock. Maybe that's where his blinkers are, left back.
Possibly. I mean, how much did we pay for him? I'm on his Wikipedia trying to work out. He doesn't actually. I think Victor Orta might have gone on and deleted it from his Wikipedia, so he can't look it up and hold it against him. But he was not free, was he? I remember at the time, for the money we were spending, he felt like a reasonable sort of investment. Oh well, he's gone now. The bad man's gone.
4.5 years. Well done to William Brooke, Keenan Carroll. That's Seb Carroll's son, isn't it? Keenan Carroll. And Harvey Sutcliffe, who've got the professional contracts. Scholars who've been released. All the best to Louis Bradbury, Joe Littlewood and Mitchell Pixley. That wraps up the outgoings.
Has no one kind of still got his website?
I don't know.
Because for a time it was a really charming website. We looked at it, we had all nice pictures of him with his mum and dad saying how grateful he was.
It was like a school project almost, wasn't it?
And it had his phone number, it had his mobile phone number on it, just if you wanted to give him a ring, which was great. So I don't know if he's we'll have to give him a ring, in fact. Do an exit interview. Yeah. That's what you do when you leave a job, isn't it? You can have a little chat with someone, so we can pretend to be from Leeds United.
Right, Australia tour. The dates have been announced for that. It's only 4 weeks away, Seen that?
The dates were out ages ago, weren't they, for that?
No, the kick-off times for the actual games. Okay. Thursday the 14th of July, it's 10:45 UK time when we play Brisbane Raw. We'll watch that. Sunday the 17th of July, 5:35 in the morning against Aston Villa. Feels a bit early, that, doesn't it? Is that a stay up all night with Luke Murphy?
Probably not.
Oh, somebody mentioned in one of the comments somewhere, Rob, that you look like Luke Murphy.
Yeah, I've heard that. I mean, I'll take that. I liked Luke Murphy.
Back to the Villa game? Are you watching it?
I'll watch the rerun.
Early morning in Walkabout in town.
Is it going to be on normal telly? It seems unlikely. It's strange. I mean, Villa and Palace, they're not exactly glamour games, are they? Oh well, this is what happens in the Premier League, isn't it?
Yeah.
Go to Ireland, for God's sake.
Yeah, play Shelbourne every year. Friday the 22nd of July, 11:05, Palace. I'll say Palace at home. We'll watch that, I guess. Watch Wilfred Zaha.
I will watch that at home.
Yeah. Okay, good. Fixtures are out later this week. Looking forward to those?
Always, yeah. I mean, in the Championship, we used to always get Bournemouth on a Tuesday, but you got loads of Tuesdays in the Championship. It'll be interesting to see how they handle that one.
They'll probably put it like on a Sunday at 2:00, something like that.
But then everyone's staying over the Saturday.
Yeah.
Is there going to be midweeks though with the World Cup?
That's true.
There's only there are 3 midweek rounds across the whole season.
Let's see if the fixture computer happens to draw us out.
I mean, there's no danger of disorder like there was in 1990s.
No, not really.
We're 32 years on now.
Yeah, and also it's going to be essentially a meaningless game in October or whatever, isn't it? It's not like a big party weekend or anything.
Just you wait till Lewis Cook riles us all up.
Do you care who we get on the opening day?
I'd like an easy win. Can we play Norwich? I know they've gone down, but can we play Norwich or Watford?
Well, did you see the leak that came out this week suggesting that our opening run was going to be Leicester away, Brighton at home, Everton, West Ham, Southampton, Newcastle, Spurs? See that?
I did see that there's always a leak every year, and I think
I always put it down to like practice runs.
Yeah, that's what I think. Because they surely must do them to just check the system works and, everyone plays everyone twice and all that sort of stuff. But I seem to recall this being a story for like the last few years and it's never correct. Yeah.
There was a little twist in this though, in that leak, Man City were down to play Villa, but then the Premier League almost accidentally contradicted it by tweeting a popcorn emoji at Bournemouth following the announcement of the Haaland signing, suggesting that maybe it's Man City Bournemouth on the opening day, but it was hastily deleted.
Makes you think.
It does make you think.
What does Matt Letizia think of this?
I'm sure he'll have an opinion on it. In terms of how the World Cup meshes in with all this, and so the final round of Premier League fixtures before the World Cup is going to be the weekend of the 12th and 13th of November, which gives us, it's just 8 days, isn't it, until the opening match. Something like that, Senegal.
What a stupid fucking season. Why have they done this?
I was going to say, everyone was bemoaning like the Nations League fixtures being completely pointless this week and just a real switch off because everyone's knackered after a long season. Nobody wants to play them. It's just bollocks. And that's when the World Cup should have been, isn't it?
Yeah.
I've not thought about it like that. That's quite depressing.
Should have been this summer.
Just don't play any of it. Don't go. Everyone stay at home.
Everybody boycott it.
Everyone boycott it.
And then 8 days between the World Cup final on Sunday the 18th of December and the resumption of the Premier League on Boxing Day. That's not to suggest in any way, shape or form that we're expecting England to be in it, but if they get quite far on in the tournament, then not much of a break, is it, with a full tournament in between times?
For our Boxing Day fixture with Nottingham Forest.
I was going to say, yeah.
That's normally who it is.
Yeah, we always play Forest away around Christmas or New Year.
Yeah.
I was thinking about the scheduling of the fixtures. They might do the Bournemouth fixture a bit like the Villa one at 5:35 in the morning. That might be how they get around the problem of potential disorder with that. So you're not looking forward to the World Cup then, Michael? It'll be good when it's on though, won't it?
It'll be fine when it's on, but it's stupid timing in a stupid place that it shouldn't be. So I'd rather we just didn't bother.
Why do you think that's happened?
It's hard to say, isn't it? It's hard to say. I think it's because FIFA like spreading the message of football around the globe, and they thought a good place to spread it would be a place with a very small population in conditions entirely unsuitable for playing football, with no stadiums. They thought that would be a good place rather than have it in a place with some people, or even some people who like football would have been an extra bonus. You know, some people liked it already, but instead, it's just one of them things. Like they obviously thought it was a good place. Yeah,
you're preaching to the converted, though, aren't you? If you take it where people play football and enjoy it,
That's true. That's true.
Opening up new markets. It will be interesting. I mean, genuinely, I know you're tiptoeing around the obvious there, but
no, I mean,
see what the stadiums look like. Will they be full or not?
It's the most ridiculously blatantly corrupt thing ever, and as all the departures at FIFA show that happened around this, and it just shouldn't be there. But never mind. But yeah, the stadiums they'll probably be full. It probably isn't a bad World Cup to go and watch, in fairness, because they're all very close together, so you can probably go to all the games quite easily. But so I know that they've kind of built some of the stadiums to be moved elsewhere afterwards and stuff, but it's all complete bollocks.
That's Michael's assessment of the World Cup. It's all complete bollocks. You'll be if England happen to get there, and I know we're not asked about England, but if
I'll be on that plane.
I'm going to say, if by some miracle Calvin Phillips is still playing for us and he's in the centre of England's midfield and they get to the final, you'll be there.
I mean, that's the other thing. If Calvin Phillips goes to Man City, my interest really dips because he's
we can support Dan James and Tyro at Wales.
That's
Aronson
true.
in the USA.
Yeah, they're not going to win it though, are they? Probably not. Dan James upsets me playing for Wales anyway. It reminds me what a little knobhead he is when I get to see him doing stuff in a non-Leeds shirt.
That's pretty much it then for the summer roundup for this week, I think. Nothing else that we've forgotten. Is there Simon Grayson? We've forgotten Simon Grayson almost. How could we? And his new job in India.
Which club is it?
It's didn't write it down.
Bengaluru, is it? I think.
A hasty Googling of Simon Grayson will tell me the answer to that. It is. It says here. Simon Grayson appointed manager of Indian Super League. Maybe he's running it all. Bengaluru, yes, in India.
Well,
from Fleetwood to Bengaluru.
I think the quote that came with it was him kind of saying, "I have no idea what I'm doing here."
I was looking through their squad. I think they've got Yaya Banana in the squad, and there was definitely someone when we were linked with him because I remember just desperately wanting us to sign him. But they're reunited at last because I'm pretty sure it was in the Grayson era.
There's sort of a double eagle-y thing. It's a bit Crystal Palace is their logo, but they do have 3 stars above the badge. It's exciting, isn't it?
I'm glad he's found work. I always like Grayson.
Ashley Westwood's played there, I think, by the looks of it.
No, he hasn't.
Have a look. Oh, he was their head coach.
That's a different one, isn't it?
Former Blackburn Rovers. No. Ashley Westwood, 45 years old now, was there as the head coach for a bit. Yeah, really was.
Hold on.
What's going on here?
This is very badly. So, are you telling me that Ashley Westwood, the 32-year-old footballer for Burnley,
No.
was head coach of them in 2013?
No, I'm saying 45-year-old Ashley Westwood, former assistant manager.
And that's who you meant, was it? First time round?
He said he's an English. This is Wikipedia for you. It says he's an English former footballer and football manager who is blah 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 blah.
Right.
He came through Scum's Academy. So never mind. So that's good anyway. I hope he has a nice time. That's all I've got to say about the matter, really.
He'll be back in a few months, won't he? That's the way these jobs seem to go. You get a surprising appointment and you're like, oh, well, we'll see. And then sure enough, he returns.
He'll be back at Blackpool before long.
Take your sun cream, Simon. That head will not fare well in the subcontinent.
Well, that was well researched. Thank you, gents. Enjoyed that.
No problem.
Talked about that. The shabby nature of this podcast exposed, etc. Thank you again on the charity walk. Now past £77,000 if you donated or spread the word. Raised over 77,000 for mental health charities. Toes mostly back together now. There's a beautiful, you described it as a butterfly emerging from a chrysalis. Your little toes have returned almost to...
Yeah, the left one. It's not... You know, have you seen like a newborn rodent? How they come out all eyeless and pink?
Yeah.
It looks like that because it's sort of shiny and there's no nail on it. So it looks... I might draw some little eyes on it as it matures.
Lovely. What an image. If you want to chuck a few quid in the pot, go to thesquareball.net/Gary Speed and take your pick there from the 2 charities, Andy's Man Club and the Samaritans. But thank you again if you've donated or spread the word on that. That wraps it up then for this time, I think, doesn't it? And we'll be back next week chatting to Skylights later on today as well.
We are.
Guitar Smiths, doing some good stuff. Album's out now. Look out for that in your feed. We'll see you in a bit.
The Square Ball Podcast.